When I found out he had a girlfriend the whole time, I called him a coward and a liar, not a good person. Then he flipped it on me and gaslighted and manipulated me and had me feeling such guilt for calling him out. Yeah, 100%. Like a narcissist is like adept at making you feel bad for calling him out on his bullshit. Okay. Why do the narcs text Merry Christmas, New Year's, but when you text back, they don't respond? Because it was like it's not a Hoover as far as like get back to me, but it's like this like ping of like supply of like who's not gonna say Merry Christmas. Like if the narcissist says Merry Christmas, New Year's, don't say it back, because you're just validating, oh, they're still thinking about me. Oh, they still care about me. Oh, like they'll make a story to make themselves feel better. How quickly they discard after marriage depends on the narcissist. Covert might be a long time. Overt might be a little bit shorter. It really depends. Why does he have a sexual attraction fetish fantasy about teenage girls and also very old women? It's not that's not inherently narcissistic, but there's a lot of screwed up stuff with that statement, but it's not inherently narcissistic. Do you think a person with NPD be born again, able to be accountable, admit their need for a savior since they refuse to be accountable for anything? I don't think a person that's a narcissistic abuser can be a Christian, if that's kind of what you're asking. Like, I don't think those things exist. I don't think there's such thing as a Christian abuser. There's just an abuser. Okay. Like that's just it. And you're right. Like they don't want to be accountable to anything. So they're not going to be accountable to God, because a lot of times narcissists like, I am God. Like that's the idea. I'm sorry, but we're in a narcissistic relationship. We're in a narcissistic relationship, or we were a recovered narcissist, now coaching. So yes, I'm a diagnosed narcissist and been going through a recovery process to be able to help me be able to work through it. But then I also coach and I work with people. So I work with about like 12 guys that have narcissistic traits, helping coach them with the things that actually helped me to be able to confront the lies that I have and be able to move forward. And we've got about, I think, like 30 people inside of our Thriver program, several hundred inside of several other challenges of narcissistic abuse survivors, of actually helping them break free. I meet with people one-on-one every single day, trying to help see like what's a good fit to be able to help them into one of the programs or one of the things that we do. But ultimately, we help people eradicate the triggers of the narcissist, break the trauma bond of the addiction, going back to the person over and over, and help them actually step up into freedom. So like the people that are running with us long-term, like we've got about 7 people stepping into 2024 for the year that are focused on like how we're actually coaching and developing. We're not really focusing on narcissism. Like narcissism is already like done with. We've already like dealt with. As they've moved forward, they're developing healthier relationships. They're developing their businesses. They're developing like their physical bodies. They're developing like the spiritual connection. All these things happening because we've already dealt with breaking the trauma and helping them rewire their mindset on a day-to-day basis. What is stacking? And did you go to a sex addiction 12-step? Did not go to a sex addiction 12-step, but I did go to a sex addiction intensive. It was like a multi-day, all day long thing. Walked away from that. That's when I knew, hey, I'm not a sex addict. I'm a narcissist. Okay. And stacking is this whole process of helping me reframe my mindset. And we teach survivors how to do this in order to be able to break the trauma bond. We teach narcissists how to be able to do this in order to get true with themselves, like honest with themselves, looking at the evidence versus their own feelings, emotions that typically like put them in a completely wrong place. Can a victim of narcissistic abuse become a narcissist too? Typically no, because that's happening early childhood. It's not happening like later on in life. You could have reactive abuse, you could have narcissistic fleas, but you're not going to turn into a narcissist. Okay. When his mask came off and I saw such a mean, vindictive side, I feel like I have PTSD from it. You probably have CPTSD from it. Like that's what it is. You give me hope. Thank you. I appreciate it. Like hope for you to be able to heal, because you're the only one that can do it, not hope that he's going to change. You can't do that for him. Okay. How do you know if he is a narcissist? One, it doesn't matter. Toxic is toxic. Stop relying on a label to be able to leave. Start focusing on, does he actually value, respect you, care, love, and put the word demonstrate in front of it. Does he demonstrate love? Does he demonstrate this? Are all military narcissists? No. I mean, he certainly seems to have some tributes, but a lot he doesn't. Yeah. So again, just go off of what you're actually seeing. Toxic. Is he honest? Is he faithful? Is he loyal? Does he have integrity? Like go off of those things. Can narcissists really care about the kids, and how can the kids see through manipulation? PTSD is this complex post-traumatic stress. PTSD is typically like, is the worst way to explain it, but I'm going to explain it this way. PTSD is typically like one major thing happens, PTSD. Constant things happen, CPTSD. That's the easiest way to be able to do it in like a nutshell. Did you find a specialist, special therapist who specializes in narcissism to work with you? Yes, the one I work with is specialized in narcissism and sex addiction and several other things. But she also doesn't stay locked in that box. So like when we get stuck, we step out into other things, whether that's different types of modality, muscle testing, energy work, all different kinds of things. Okay. Melly, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Did you say narcissists don't usually threaten suicide, but usually BPDs? Yeah, I did. No, that's not like, I'm not just saying like, that's like the law or like the rule of it, borderline typically will threaten suicide. Like it's in the DSM-5. It says that. Okay. Narcissist, that's not anywhere in there. Okay. How to let a narcissistic ex pay money back? Give them a link to be able to pay back. Send them like, hey, you can send me money here, but then otherwise like cut it off because otherwise they're going to keep using it. Who are a BPD and narcissist perfect partner and can end well? Not if there's not honesty. Nothing like that can ever end well. I initially got no contact from my ex-covert narcissist girlfriend, but she works at the post office where I have a PO box. How do I interact with her when I have to pick up packages from there? I would ignore her. Like if you have a PO box, you're going in. Okay, like I see if you have like packages. Yeah, just like very cut and dry, like just transactional. This, like don't engage anymore. Did you say I read that one? What made you finally realize you were a narcissist? A lot of it was understanding that the cycle was going to continue happening no matter what. So after several affairs, I was like, hey, I feel like I'm cursed. Like this isn't going to change. This isn't going to happen. So I'm like, what do I do? You know, it wasn't like this realization, like light bulb. Like that's the hard thing is people are like, oh, you finally knew you're a narcissist. Like it took a long period of time. It was like, okay, I'm dealing with shame. Okay, I'm dealing with this type of personality. Like all these things started slowly unlocking. I've got a longer video on YouTube that talks about my journey, just understanding it. What do you think of lie detector tests? The so random. Like I get where you come from. Like lie detector tests, you can do them. There's some narcissists that can fake them. Like there's some narcissists that believe their lies so much that they're not going to trigger it. A lot of narcissists are going to even use that to be able to say, I'll even take a lie detector test. Might be lying just because they have to. Like if you have to do that with the person that you're with, like is it really worth being with that person? Like when you consider it, like we're like if we focus on like one tiny piece of like he'll take a lie detector test, like do you really think that the love of your life, the best person in your life needs to take a lie detector test? Then they're probably not the right person for you. Not a narcissist S that slept a lot. Any idea why? Nope. Maybe he was tired. Maybe he was hiding from his own ego. I don't know. How can I get the narcissist in my life to get help like you? You can't. You can work on yourself. Like that's it. You need to understand you can't fix him. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't force it to drink. And if you did, you probably drown it. Like you need to be able to understand this is about you growing and healing. If he wants to do that, he can reach out for help. It's not up to you. It's not up to you to make the other person do it because no one made me change. You need to understand this. All the people that are on here being like, maybe my narcissist, maybe my ex, maybe he can turn out to you, maybe he can change. No one can make another person change. The flip side of that is many of you have narcissists that have already changed multiple times for multiple people, multiple ways, and they'll continue to do so. You're not looking for your narcissist to change. You're looking for them to actually be transformed from the inside out, and that will not start unless there is this level of truth. If there's not truth, nothing's ever going to change for anyone. We were divorced, did not see her son from 2 years to 9 years. He has come back with a vengeance toward me, trying to smear me, and squeaky clean, took me to court, wondering if he'll walk away again. Probably if you can continue to hold steady. Like don't give any don't get any leverage for him. Like make sure you stay that way. Thank you for answering, especially saying don't rely on the label toxic. Yeah, 100%. I'm researching this and it's totally fascinating. People are just talking about this. Thank you. It's very interesting. It's been talked about for a while, but now it's getting more like mainstream media. And we just see more and more narcissists on a day-to-day basis.